Welcome to Drain the Rabbit Hole, and today we're gonna look at how your government keeps crime rates high, and perhaps even more importantly, why. So let's look at that. Now, the first thing I want to look at is the how part, and in order to do that, we need to look at this here on my computer. I will start my recording software, and I will ask it, what was the Norwegian police budget in 2025? Total accounted cost, slightly higher, around 27.7 billion NOK. Now that might sound like a lot of money, 27.7 billion NOK, but that is basically just like $3 billion. That is not a lot of money. The entire police budget was only $3 billion, approximately. Now, if we contrast this, I will ask Grok, how much oil money did we use in 2025? And you will be shocked. How much money did Norway spend under handlingsregelen in 2025? This is the rule that allows us to use oil money. This is not money that we receive from taxes. No, this is money that comes on top of the normal money we already receive from taxes that we just shoot into our economy from our huge oil wealth. I'm talking about Norway now, but you can check your own country, your own government, your own budgets, and you will see the same trend. The lack of investment in critical things. Okay. So we spent 542 billion NOK. About $52 billion in total oil money, and from that we only managed to give 3 billion to the police. We almost used 20 times our police budget in oil money in 2025, and we only had 3 billion for the police. What did we spend the rest of the money on? They don't want to say. The SSB does not want to release proper statistics about how much we spend and what we spend money on. But a lot of this money goes to fund immigration that increases crime. And still we're only spending 3 billion on the annual police budget. 20 times. We took 20 times the money from our oil fund. And we could only give 3 billion to the police. What are we using this money on? That is the thing you need to answer. Ask yourself, and you can look at my Why Immigration Only Makes the Rich Richer video, and you will understand what this money is going towards and why we're not using it for the police. But there is another reason also. That is the why part. This is the how part. Later we will do the why part, and then you will understand why we are not allocating more money to the police. I'm gonna ask you one final question on this topic, and that is, how much money did we give to foreign aid in 2025? A reoccurring theme, this foreign aid money. We are giving so much money. 58.9 billion NOK. So in 2025, we gave double the money that we spent on our police budget just away to other countries than Norway. And we are wondering why crime is on the rise. Recently, a couple weeks ago, a guy was executed at a children's soccer game. That should not happen. That should not happen anywhere, but especially not in Norway. We pride ourselves on being a safe country where you can just let your children out to play and these kinds of things. That's the childhood we all had in Norway. But nowadays people get executed at children's football games. A gang showdown at a children's football game. That is not okay. And we're giving double the money to foreign aid that we are using on our police budget. We took 20 times our annual police budget from our oil wealth, and we are not using it on the police. Why? Here is the why. It is really quite simple, because by keeping crime rising, by having crisis all the time around you, crime rising. You need to worry that your children will be addicted to drugs, you will join a gang. You think the world is going to end through climate change. There's going to be a second world war. There's a war in Iran. There's a war maybe on Greenland. There's a war in Ukraine. There's always there is some problem. And by keeping the crime rates high, the politicians, us normal people, we are just individuals. I, as an individual, cannot do a lot to prevent crime. No, I need to look to the government. I need to look to the police, the government institutions. And so by keeping crime rates high, regular people are going to go around worrying about crime. And then they're going to look for the strong man, the knight in shining armor that can save them. And that is the government. So by perpetuating large problems in society all the time, the politicians just entrench their position of power because we look to them to solve this. If everything had been perfect in our societies, which they really could be, then we wouldn't need the politicians. We would say that everything works. Let's be more idealistic. Let's look toward things like public votes regarding everything, more freedom, more individualism. But no, by keeping crisis there all the time, we look to strong men, we look to strong women, we look to the politicians to save us, and they can accumulate more and more power. It's so dangerous, it's so dangerous. So you need to give from your power to us, to the politicians, to solve these problems. That is the real reason. This is by design. This is not a coincidence. You can also see in another video I have made how we're doing the same thing in relation to narcotics. And another thing, people might think that, yes, but you're just looking at budgets, and that doesn't reveal an intention to do anything. And yeah, okay, maybe not, but just imagine how you use your speech regularly. If you had a dog and a friend came over and he went out to smoke a cigarette and he didn't close the door and the dog ran out, you would tell him, "You idiot, why did you release the dog? It was not his intention, he just forgot to close the door." But you would use the same language to describe that situation. And that's what's happening here. It is at best at best, like a huge oversight. I wanted to say like negligence, but that's a difficult word. So this is at best a huge oversight. At worst, it's a scheme to keep power, and I'm leaning towards the latter. So thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below if you think this rise in crime rates is just, a natural development in society that we cannot control or do anything about, or if it is a plot, a scheme to control people. I'm leaning towards the latter. Thanks for watching.